Hey guys, happy 2022. So, as you can see, I'm building a new rotor. It's kind of hard to visualize what it's going to be now. It's a Ferris wheel roller, kind of like that one, using disc magnets. I forgot how I even built that one. It's all 3D printed. But this one's more of a skeleton than a solid piece like that. And so you can tell, this has a an indent for a 22 millimeter bearing. It'll sit like this. This other one has the same thing, will sit like that. And then I have these cups, which will hold the disc magnet, and the cup will be facing, so the back of this doesn't even need to be covered. I printed these and I'm not even sure why, because I designed these cups and they're going to be facing outward like that. So as it's rotating, it's going to be pushing the magnet against the solid piece here, not against the open back. I think I printed these or I printed the caps, the back plate, just for the hell of it. And everything is a press fit. So it's really tight. These are standoffs, which are going to go in between there to kind of keep it secured. These are end brace caps. So they'll go on the end of the rotor, kind of like this. So this will sit. Let's see if I can get it in there while I'm filming with one hand, which is redunculous. It'll sit like that. This guy will sit in there like that. This gets screwed to this, so it'll stop the magnet from flying out. I got a couple of comments on the disc rotor, that I didn't have enough protection. And right, I mean, I figured this red shield would stop anything from flying out, and it seemed to have worked. It was probably not as safe as it should be, but let me get some of this together so I can better show you how it's going to look. You can better visualize it. First thing I have to do, though, is a lot of these parts have elephant's foot on them. When you 3D print, I don't know if you can see that. It didn't print absolutely straight. The top part did. The part that, because I printed them standing up like this. So the bottom one is always going to have a little bit of elephant's foot. So that's easy to fix. I have to clean up all the edges so all these will fit together nicely. Again, they are a press fit. And, having made these now, these fully 3D printed pulse motors for a little while now, I've gotten to the point where I can pretty much on the first, maybe second try, get it to press fit. Like I know for a fact that 22.2 millimeters is a press fit for these 22 millimeter bearings, because the PLA shrinks, right? The PLA shrinks a little bit, or it expands depending on how you're printing it. So let me get this puppy together. I wanted to do something new for the new year, and we'll see how it goes. So stay tuned. So this is how it's gonna look. There's the brace in there, and I measured everything so that it all fits tight. Those end caps, or the support caps, will get screwed in. I've got these little teeny tiny brass screws. These little round pieces here are going to be the end caps for these, and they'll get one tiny screw right in the center there. Probably not necessary, but just to hold it all together. And it all seems to fit pretty good. Maybe that goes like that. I may have to run the ends of these off of on a grind on a sander really quick because I want everything to fit snug. But that's kind of how it's going to look. You'll have a shaft that runs through there, with the two bearings right on, and I'll probably run it in that that stand over there where the other Ferris wheel rotor is. That one's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That one's got 8 discs as well. So this one's a little bit different, more like I said of a skeleton, but we'll see how it goes. Stay tuned. All right, so now you can probably better visualize what it's going to look like. I think the brass screws give it kind of a nice look. And so these little black caps are separate from these. So the caps hold the side walls or the bracket walls together, collapsing it on these spacers here. And then these guys will go on here like this, but they'll actually go this way. See if I can get one in there. They'll actually go like that, and it will have the disc magnet in there. And so it won't fly off. I'll screw those braces on there like that, and then the bearings will go in there. So something like that. It's a little different. It's, again, kind of similar to this other Ferris wheel rotor that I have, but this one has a lot more going on, a little busier, more of a skeleton, like I said earlier. It's going to be kind of cool, I think. I kind of like the way it looks. All right, stay tuned. Really quick, another thing that I like about this setup versus that one, everything is glued on that one. This one here, nothing is glued. Everything is press fit and then secured with little brass screws, clips and little brass screws. So yeah, that should be interesting. All right, stay tuned. All right, so I have a little bit of a dilemma. So I was going to reuse the disc magnets in this platter here, or I could reuse the ones in the carousel, in the Ferris wheel one. But I really don't want to pop these out of here. Besides, I put a acrylic backing on there. So, I could get them out. They are just press fit in there. But I really don't want to. So I'm thinking I'm going to order 4 more of these. Oh, actually, what I can do is, I just figured it out. I can order 4 more, but still use these so I can get this guy completed. But I'm afraid if I mess with this, I might either hurt the magnets or hurt the holder itself, the disc itself. I want to get this going, so yeah, I'm going to pop 4 of those out, or 6 of those. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna pop 5 of those out and leave 1, and put the 8 on here. Yeah, I think that'll work. But I'm definitely gonna order 6 more or 5 more so I can have these 3 completed and not have to cannibalize them, because I swore I would not do that anymore, because I did that in the beginning. I would make one, then cannibalize it and make another, and I really don't want to do that. I stopped doing it with that maglev over there, the orange and brown one. I think you can see it has the orange inside and the brown sleeve on the outside. I'm not going to do that anymore. I don't do it with my maglevs. So yeah, I'm going to reorder though, so that I have a complete set for each one. All right, crisis averted. Stay tuned. So they came out much easier than I thought. I was able to take them out with these just by putting the magnet on there and pulling it right off. Um, what I'm really thinking about is I have a couple of VCR bearings like I have for the flat rotor there. I'd really like to figure out a way to mount two of them on either side and then build the Ferris wheel that way. Because man, I really like those VCR bearings. They are sweet versus just these ceramic bearings, which they're okay. But if I do that, I'm going to have to, which it wouldn't be hard because I've basically already built the part that would go in there and connect to the VCR bearing. That wouldn't be too hard, but I would have to print out a couple of mounts for it. You know what? I'm going to do that, but first I'm going to mount it with just the bearings, just so I can get it working. And then I'll work on the VCR bearing setup. All right, stay tuned. So there it is all together. I just have to put the brackets on, or the braces to hold it, but it has the bearings in there, and magnets are facing this way up against the solid piece there, so there's no chance of them flying out as long as these braces don't give, but they're going to be screwed in. You see the little hole, right? Oh, maybe you can't. Oh, anyway, there's going to be a brace on each side. I did make a mistake though, as far as I should have made these braces in the center about 1 millimeter longer, because if you can see, they're flaring out of, because I didn't take into account the radius there, the little radius there. I mean, it's an easy fix. All I have to do is take a file to it, which, you know what, I think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to take a file to that inside corner radius there, so it sits. Yeah, I'm going to do that. Stay tuned. So the brackets worked out better than I expected. I didn't think they were going to be tight in there, but they are. And I printed half red and half black. So now I'm deciding, should I do every other one, or should I do red, black, red, black? Decisions. Let me just get them on there. Stay tuned. All right. So it's finished. So what do you guys think? Pretty cool, huh? The brass adds something to it, I think. It's really wild looking. Came out much better than I imagined. I just hope it runs okay. It should, because it has about the same distance as the other Ferris wheel as far as the magnet. So I don't think I'm going to be flooding the coil or whatever it's called. But yeah, now I just got to get it mounted. And so I'm probably going to put it on that puppet over there. All right, stay tuned. So I'm going to use this just for a test run, but I've decided I'm going to build a stand dedicated for this guy here. Because just like I don't want to cannibalize parts, I'm just taking a look on how I built this guy. I did put spacers in there. Huh. I don't remember doing that. But just like I don't want to cannibalize parts. Can I see the magnet in there? No, I can't. So these disc magnets are the same as these. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and order. I already have one piece that I can use for this. This is nice because it's adjustable, this stand. But I want to keep it for this guy. Oh, what was that sound? Oh, nothing. I want to keep this guy on here because I want to be able to put this next to this and do some experiments with it. So, yeah, I'm going to build a dedicated stand for that, but I'm going to put it on here temporarily just to run it. Stay tuned. And I just realized that I'm going to have to build a dedicated stand because this stand has the bearings in the stand itself, where this and that rotor does not. It has a shaft that runs straight through it and is attached to the rotor itself, whereas this rotor has the bearings in it. Oh, actually, you know what I could do? I just thought of it. I can print out a couple of plugs with the same diameter as, yeah, I could print out a couple of plugs with holes in them, the same diameter as the shaft I'm going to use, or just put it in like that and I'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, I'll have 6 bearings for this thing to run on, which would be kind of crazy. Anyway, all right, stay tuned. So I definitely want to build my own stand because, or another stand for this, because that is too small for this big ass stand. It's meant for that big monster over there, but it's working okay in this stand where I can at least test it, see how it's going to work with either the JL or the Hall sensor. More than likely the JL circuit, JL94 circuit. I have to get a longer shaft though for it, so I can put these collets on the outside of it. But it's looking pretty cool, man. Nice and smooth, pretty straight. Actually, perfectly straight. I don't see any wobble or any weirdness. All right, I have to get a longer shaft. Stay tuned. So it's light enough, and using the carbon fiber tube, I could just do it with just one side. I never thought about that. Then it would really kind of look like a Ferris wheel. Well, Ferris wheels have 2 sides, but I kind of like that like that. Yeah, I really like this one. It came out nice. But yeah, I need to get a longer tube or shaft. All right. Once again, stay tuned. Kind of looks like an old-fashioned Bedini setup, huh? Getting some really good output. And that is an old coil from Sky. Here, let me turn it off. It's kind of cool. It's like an old Bedini setup. And I'm running it on the JL94 circuit now. I had to use a steel shaft. I didn't have any carbon fiber shafts. Let me turn it off. I don't think the JL94 circuit's very good for this type of setup. Let me try a couple of other circuits. Actually, the JL is good for this. I just don't think that coil is. Here, hold on. Yeah, so that coil is good if I use a higher voltage. It's flying now, but I'm at 15 volts. I don't normally run it that hot. See, with the JL94 circuit, once you get a good connection between the magnetic field and the coil, it goes good. I have a little bit of wobble because it's running on the bearings going across, and the bearings I don't think are sit flush in there. It's all right. It's still running good. I just wanted to test it because I'm going to build its own dedicated stand. It's running really good now. Got a really good output. It's, again, the camera doesn't, all of the circuits are nice and cool. Yeah, it just needed a boost because now it's going good now. 12.7 JL94 circuit, new Ferris wheel motor. Going pretty nice. And I'm using a very old coil. That's one of the very first coils that I got from Sky. Of course, it's a beautiful coil. It's an air core. I'm thinking about making a bunch of actual Bedini coils with the iron core bifilar twisted wire, because he would twist his wires before he wrapped them around, or before he wrapped the coil with it. I don't know why he did that. I'm sure it's online somewhere. But yeah, that's running really well now. All right. Again, I just wanted to test it. I'm going to build a dedicated stand. All right, guys. Ciao.